KAPAP is the Hebrew acronym for face-to-face combat. It is the original combat system of defensive tactics, hand-to-hand combat, and self-defense employed by the Israeli Defense and Security Forces, the Israeli National Police, and its special operations and anti-terrorist units. KAPAP fight tactics originated in the 1940s and were used by the Palmach forces in fighting for the independence of the State of Israel. These Palmach units later formed the core of Israel's special units in the conventional military. The modern-day KAPAP combat system is headed by Lieutenant Colonel Chaim Pierre, who served in one of Israel's most elite units called Matkal, and later on trained other special units in guerrilla warfare and hand-to-hand combat tactics. The KAPAP system was updated from its basic form of combat by the operatives of special units and official instructors that served and still serve in Israel's different security branches. The KAPAP Federation is based in Israel, with the Kapap Academy serving as its sole representative in the United States. The Kapap Academy was formed by two former official Israeli military and police instructors in counter-terror combatives, also known as LOTAR. Major Avi Nardia served in a police special unit known as Yamam as an intelligence team member and defensive tactics CQB instructor. In 24 years of service to the Israeli Defense Forces, Major Nardia took part in the Lebanese War of 1982, where he earned the rank of major. As well, he has trained police agencies and armed forces all over the world, from police patrol and corrections officers to SWAT, SRT, and SERT team members, from Army, Marine, and counter-terror units to special forces. In Israel, he taught defensive tactics and operational behavior at the Operational Police Academy, which is charged with training the entire police force of the country. To this day, he is a CQB trainer in the Israeli Defense Force Reserves, as well as a reserve police sniper. Albert Timmon is a former elite counterintelligence undercover unit member for the IDF, as well as a LOTAR and CQB instructor for various police SWAT schools. Albert is one of only a few security operatives in the world to arrest a live suicide bomber. The bomber still had his explosive belt strapped on and was caught in the act of committing a bombing. In his 18 years of operational experience, Albert has trained special units in tactics and cross-trained with the best operational units in the world.
KAPAP is the system based on principles. Those principles shape a form of a triangle. If we're looking at the triangle, the base of the triangle would be the combat conditioning. The right hand side of the triangle would be the armed principles, and the left side of the triangle would be the unarmed principles. Now we're going to start to talk about a little bit of the base of the triangle, which is the combat conditioning.
When we talk about warm-up, we talk about combat condition. Combat condition is not only fitness. You can be very fit, but you cannot, your fitness will not help you for a fight. We try to build fitness that will help operational, and that's more like operational fitness, or as we see, combat condition, which include the physical and mental build of a warrior. Now, I will start with a drill. Drill is not a fight. I'm not trying to cut Armando, I'm not trying to hurt him. We're actually feeding each other technique and try to work on our first basic reflex and develop basic reflex. Later on, I will start to work and study and teach myself like a peripheral vision. So I will not all the time look at him, and I will have to feel when he's going to attack me and to react for this. This will build also good reflex when we want to use it later on as a self-defense against a knife, but right now it's just a drill and it's just a warm-up plus the conditioning of the hand, because later on you can tap much more strong. The first, I will take the knife all the time same like in a boxing, this move of boxing. But this time, I don't want to develop bad habit and cut my hand. That's why the knife will go parallel to my body and go forward. Parallel to my body and go forward. So that will be the motion that I'm looking for. And we attacked only for this part. Safety is everything in training. You don't want to get any incident. So Armando will start, and we'll start very static. And actually we feed each other, and we'll try to build energy and motion. Now I'll start a little bit to move. And if you see now, we feed each other and we're blocking using like short taps. Slowly I will switch my hand and use also my hip much more. I will start to speed up, play with the different rhythm. And slowly, again, because I'm going to switch the exercise, I'm going now to come from the side. And now I'm going to come from under, up. And slowly, if you see, I will not start to look. I will try to see him in my peripheral vision and to build peripheral vision. So during the training and the drill, I'm building my reflex, I'm building my peripheral vision, eye and hand motion, and also legs, different rhythm, and slowly I can start to tap and build a little bit more contact. And slowly we slow down again. And the next move, I'm going to switch my blade. And again, it's a warm-up. I can go forward and backward. And now if you see, I'm trying to take him out of the track, up. All of those exercises are to warm up and develop a reflex that when I don't have the knife, and later on I can use it for knife disarming. Okay, but again, he's feeding me. And later on, I can use for more options, but we just warm up. So again. Okay, and again. And many times I just want to tap on him, because many times when the guy attacked, I have no time. I just try to prevent him from stabbing me until I get the trap. Okay? And again, it's a warm-up, not more. Okay? Next drill, it's toe-to-toe. Again, it's a warm-up, and if you see, it's to teach you to switch your leg. Why you need it? Because many times in a kicking, in the knees, you need also to load and give a kick. Load and give a kick. So to train those things sometimes, you can also use a ball just to do what we call toe-to-toe. And again, you can hold a medicine ball when you do it, and you can do it with a more fast move. The next one, again, we're using a soccer ball. Many martial arts, we talk about headbutt, but how many really experience doing headbutts? You cannot go to a punching or a focus meet and try headbutts. So the best is a soccer ball. And for example, on the same time Armando is doing a sit-up, he's going to headbutt the ball to my hand. In this way, he's getting used to the impact, and also is getting used to be much more accurate when you do the headbutt. So when you have to headbutt somebody, you have it. The next one again, and you can use, for the next one you can use medicine ball. For the headbutt, don't try a medicine ball, okay? But for this one, we can work with any ball, from soccer ball, basketball, and when you get stronger, medicine ball. And for example, one, he do like sit-ups this way, again, to make sure that only the shoulders go up and go down. Very slow move. It's more difficult than to do it fast. Now the next, Armando is going to grab the ball and throw it back to me. And this is chest to chest. And now, if it's with a medicine ball, I can ask him to do over the head, do a few exercises with it on the same time. Good. I can go much far, so you have to throw much far. I can ask him to throw with one hand, so he practice like for cross or a jab, or like this way. Now I can ask you, when you go up, you have to tap one side and other side on the floor. One side, no, go much more up and try to tap near to your heels. Good. 1, 2, and go. And 1, 2, and go. So actually, we earn also the donuts, which is very important for police officers. But when you do this, so you're taking all of those donuts away from you. Okay? And that's another exercise for warm-up and combat condition.
Okay, the next set of the drill, what we're seeing now, we're seeing combat conditioning, static. What we try to do in this drill is start to work a little bit slow from the beginning to maximize the effect of all the body parts that we can achieve in one drill. This drill that you see Avi and Armando doing, they're following each other, chest high, and throwing the ball using hands. And now a combination of throws one to each other, following each other with jabs, simulating jabs, cross. The body move should be exaggerated actually just to achieve that effect, that wanted effect, that we condition all the body parts. We're seeing the movement of the legs, and we see them simultaneously working on the upper body, on the lower body, using the coordination of all the parts. This effect is very efficient to develop good coordination between hand and leg coordination. We'll achieve a lot of movement, speed, agility of the legs, and maximizing the effect in all the body parts. Okay, like we've seen in the previous drill, what we want to achieve in this drill is the same effects that we're going to train: the grip, the index grip, and the reverse grip. Armando and Avi is positioned in a certain way that from this distance they're going to throw the knife one to each other, receiving and feeding the knife, reversing the grip, playing with the grip, and playing with the instinct. Now we can change hands and throw, we can change distance and throw, and we can change speed and add more effects to this drill. We can maximize it and put more of the lower body and the upper body workout. And of course it looks like a little bit of a shadow boxing and sparring from a distance. So we create multiple effects achieved in one drill by combining all the elements of body movement, shadow boxing with the knife, and the most important part of this drill is the grip. Okay, working on the instinct, and we're working on the grip of the knife. Now we can work out with two knives, and to start to make it a little bit more difficult, so we can see the knives are being delivered from one to another, and there's more body movement, and it gets tougher and harder to the ones that... Now, if you see what Avi and Armando is practicing now, it's a good educational subject that adds more into the training, and we punish every time that a knife will be dropped, like Avi is doing now. The punish will be for the one that dropped the knife. And now, if you see Avi, He's not letting the knife away from him, is picking up the knife, is doing the push-ups, and keep on going with the drill, not letting go of the knife as an educational part. Never let go of what you have in your hand. You can always use it as a weapon. Okay, in this next set of drills, what we're going to see actually Avi performing is a little bit of a warm-up specifically for ground. And most of the ground techniques that are incorporated in Kapap have been mutually developed with Professor John Machado from John Machado Academy of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And these specific warm-ups help us to later on apply to different scenarios that we can find out on the ground. So Avi is going to perform a little bit of moves from the ground, starting with a rocking chair. And Avi is, what he's starting to do now, starting to show the applications of the warm-up. So just by this move, Avi is showing the ability of very smoothly moving from one position to another on the ground and achieving multiple scenarios that can be incorporated into the training. So that was the rocking chair. And now we see Matt moving towards Avi, and Avi is performing just by the body move on the ground with the same rocking chair and same blocks that are incorporated into the rocking chair. We can achieve a lot of counters to possible scenarios on the ground. Now when Matt is trying to move towards Avi and pass his guard, Avi is going to trap and move his side and make Matt fall on the ground, and from there we can keep on the fight. But again, we're going back to the principles of the warm-up, and we see Avi is still warming up, and Matt is trying to do a lot of kicks from different sides and different angles, and still this very simple move shows us that the rocking chair is very simple to apply when it's incorporated with other moves that we're going to later on cover on the ground survival and the ground fighting skills of Kapap. Okay, the next application of the rocking chair, we see Avi still on the ground, still working his abs, and now we see Matt in the guillotine position. What we're going to see next is Avi performing the same rocking chair move, opening Matt and throwing him on the side. The same application, 2 points, Avi's working on Matt, throwing him on the different position, the same rocking chair that we've seen before being applied. Now, this is another application that Avi is showing. He's throwing Matt, again, and controlling the point of the throw. But this is just to show again and again that the rocking chair is a very viable move that it has to be incorporated in every warm-up that we do for the ground. Now Avi's moving above Matt and controlling him from the same position. Again, the guillotine comes and Avi chooses how to apply, of course, the points of attack and how to open against the guillotine position, using only his body move on the ground. Okay, what we're going to see next is the applications of what we started with the rocking chair on the ground, and now we're going to see all the applications, the combat applications that can come as a play when we're doing the ground techniques. What we're going to see next, Avi's doing the application of the rocking chair, but now he's using 2 points and opening the same choke, the application of the guillotine. We're going to reverse and we're going to show it from the other angle, and now we see Avi is opening Matt on a different angle and rolling over and controlling his upper body. Again, Avi is going to position himself in the same position, but we might find ourselves down under a guillotine chokes, using only 2 points of contact, attacking the face, multiple attacks, the choke, the area of the throat, pushing towards and opening, starting to open the opponent either way. So now we see that Avi is applying different angles just to overcome a guillotine choke from this position on the ground. And again, we're going to see a different angle again of opening and throwing the opponent. And we actually control the direction of the throw. And now again, it's very easy just to incorporate a little bit of the body move from the rocking chair. As you see Avi practicing it, that's the only move. It's a gross motor skill. You don't need to think about it too much. It's very natural. And what Avi is actually doing is hugging and coming back towards and shifting all the weight moves. You don't have to be a big person to do that. Everyone can do that. And what we're going to show next is multiple applications for the same exact rocking chair. Throw to the side. And again, using multiple attacks on what we ever have in front of us that's available in the groin area, the face, an opening like a can. And again, turning and controlling the subject from a different angle. Again, if we find ourselves in this position under a choke, it's very easy, just by the body move on the ground, to achieve a lot of openings and to overcome any possible choke, just with moving and repositioning ourselves on the ground. And again, the rocking chair is a basic to all the applications that we later going to see Avi performing. Again, if you see those moves, you will recognize them under the choke. This is the same exact moves that are being done as a warm-up and now as an application for escape from a guillotine choke on the ground. Okay, the same goes standing up, again attacking multiple vital points and opening, and again controlling the subject on the ground from this guillotine point.
What we're going to talk about now is about the medicine ball. One of our features is medicine ball through conditioning the body, strengthening, explosive power. You would know it probably from boxing. You see boxers train with medicine balls. Professional wrestlers and professional grapplers, they use the medicine balls. Very good too, conditioning the core for strengthening, for impact, for absorbing hits, and to condition your back and stomach at the same time. Joe here is going to demonstrate the sit-ups with the medicine ball. He's going to demonstrate the sit-ups, and then he's going to show the sit-ups with a twist to the sides, and we're going to show exactly how it's done, and we're going to talk about how we make the best out of it and how we can increase the level of intensive core conditioning from side to side, forward, backwards. Okay, Joe's going to start showing sit-ups with the medicine ball all the way up. You can see he's not going all the way to the bottom. He's going almost like he stopped just a little bit before he touches the ground completely with his back. He's not going flat. That is the sit-up with the medicine ball. Plus he's strengthening his arms. You can see he's pulling forward. It's good for conditioning for arms, for punches, upper deltoid. Now you can see here how he twists his side from side. He works on his core, he works on his front abdominals as he goes up. He works on his side abdominals, the diagonal muscles here and the abdominal muscles for twisting. Very good for impact, especially when you rotate and punch for the start to coming from side to side. Here you can see the medicine ball going all the way. And as he does that, I'll stop him in the middle and let him hold for a few seconds and let him go back down. And again, stop for a few seconds and go back down to have isometric contractions of the muscles. Another important element. Okay, the next thing with the medicine ball, Joe's going to demonstrate what we call the rolling. You can see the medicine ball is underneath from the chest area all the way down to his abdominals, middle abs. He would be moving side to side with his hand behind his back. Pretty much it's important to keep your body straight, to keep the core. The main purpose behind it is for conditioning the body and conditioning the neck. You can see also the neck here stays leveled. It's good for conditioning the thighs, the abs, and the neck all at the same time. Plus, when he moves back and forth, you can see he works his calves muscles. Very good for conditioning, especially for absorbing. Okay, here we have the crunch with the medicine ball. You can see Joe is holding the ball, squeezing it between his knees right here. It works on your inner thighs. It's very good if you're a grappler from the guard position. It's very good for conditioning your lower abs all the way down, almost to the groin level. He holds the ball on the same level as he pulls his leg together and contracts towards the ball. Very good for lower abdominals. Okay, here what you can see is actually toe-to-toe sit-ups. This is training with a partner, pretty much like the same we did when you're going by yourself. This time it's with a partner. You can see how we transfer the ball as he shifted from side to side. Again, we're working our upper arms, our chest, by pushing it forward and doing the sit-ups. Make sure when you're doing it, one partner would be crossing his ankles right here, okay? So you're gonna stick together. Here you can see a transfer back to back. It's very good for, again, for the side abdominals, okay, the muscles that go diagonally. You can also see when it's they're doing it, it's very good for punching conditioning, for especially a lot of kickboxers use that to get the rotation, to get the hip movement behind it, and to generate force as they turning into each other. Again, working the upper arms, working crossing abdominals. Okay, here you can see the side to side. Joe and Nathan are demonstrating it. What they're going to do is pretty much throw the ball to each other. It's very good if you're working on your right cross or left cross for that matter. Also conditioning arms, you can take it on either side, forward, up, side, diagonal. You can also work on your inner punches, like an uppercut, throwing it from the inside. You kind of lean into it. Again, very good from your hook position, from your uppercut position, right cross, left cross, especially for all the movement that require rotation of the body. Okay, the next drill you can see Scott and Joe demonstrating here basic boxing moves. See footwork, pivoting in and out, medicine ball. The guy with the medicine ball works on his conditioning, strengthening his arms and legs, and the guy without the ball is just imitating his movements as they pass the ball. You work on arm condition, and then they switch. The guy without the ball, they transfer the ball, and they do the same exact thing. Same thing here, you can see the guy with an empty hand, without the ball, works on his punches, works on his form. Nice clean technique. The guy with the ball, where he works on his chest muscles, arms, and legs. Okay, what you can see here, there's a pure conditioning, the stomach conditioning for the student. You can see that Scott is dropping the ball right on his stomach as Joe absorbs the impact and in a movement of bench pressing it back into Scott's line. And again, Scott drops in the stomach. You exhale. Make sure you breathe. You breathe out. You exhale. as you absorb the impact if you're lying down there. Scott here is actually performing the regular push-ups. The only thing is this time he's doing it on a medicine ball, transferring side to side, left to right, and right to left. Also by leaning on the medicine ball, he's tried to accomplish and stabilize and keep his balance as he does it as he moves from side to side. Okay, the next drill, we call it the Superman. It's pretty hard. See, both Scott and Joe are arching their bodies, feet whether they're up or down, and they just pass the ball to each other. Make sure you arch your back. It's very good for lower back conditioning. Right in front of each other, pretty much passing the ball. This time you'll see them working on their basic punches, whether it's a right cross, right hook, right uppercut. Okay, absorb. Just kind of roll in with it. As you pass it, you accept the ball, you roll in with that. Same like you block the punch and you roll back with a counter punch. Okay, same thing you just saw now. Only this time it's not static. It's going to be on the move. It's going to be dynamic. Okay, Scott and Joe are going to be working in front of each other, but they're going to be on the move. You see Scott and Joe are squared off here. They're working on their squatting. Squatting is really important, especially for boxing skills, for grappling skills. It's important to condition your quads, bursting power. At the same time, you can pass it. You can see straight in the front, or just work on your basic form: right cross, left hook, uppercuts. Pretty much develop those muscles in your arm and chest that are going to strike. Same lunging forward, back and forth. This time with movement of the hands, again, to condition and strengthen those muscles that are going to use when we actually strike. Okay, you got the dips here, going up and down. Again, working on your quads, working on your muscles forward, deltoid, trapezius. We just throw it forward. Again, also going up. And also Scott, he can leave the ball right here and he works on his biceps as he gets it close to his face and push it forward. Deltoid, trapezius, all the upper muscles that are important for combat, for striking.
Now Yuri is going to demonstrate some basic ab workouts using the medicine ball. This is the first exercise. Notice how he brings the medicine ball slowly over his head. Nice and controlled, he's not bouncing it on the floor. He's letting his abs do most of the work. That targets the middle section of the abdominal. Next, he's going to try to get each side by going side to side. Once again, it's controlled movements. Nice and slow to really maximize the amount of abdominal flexing. Once you get yourself a partner, you can extend your abdominal workout by using this medicine ball drill right here. Side to side, they pass it off to each other. Really work that side muscle, the love handles. Switch directions. And then if you want to increase the difficulty level, you can have one person slide out, put about 3 or 4 feet in between your partner and yourself, and you make it more of a toss. This makes you use your arm muscles more. And then every time that medicine ball hits the ground and you miss and there's an accident, 10 push-ups each, you should be all set.
Okay, next one, working on the abs with the feet in the air. Pretty much keep between 4 to 5 inches from the ground from your heels. Works on your abs, working the same side muscles we just did now, plus very good for your lower abdominals if you're a grappler, you're a wrestler. Very important to develop those muscles. Same idea, going light touches the ground. to develop the abdominal range all the way from the side, from the hip, through the front, to the right side. They're all out throughout the entire midsection of the lower abdominals. Okay, what you can see here is a group drill for medicine balls. Scott is coaching. He throws the ball, each and every one of them. They absorb the ball and throw it straight forward. No basketball throws or volleyball throws, straight forward. Again, working those attacking arms. The arms are going to strike and react, whether it's for shooting or whether it's for striking. Okay? You got to throw it in the center of mass. So to work on their abdominals. You can also start combining in a random order, okay? From the guy in the middle to the guy at the end, from the guy at the end to the guy at the other end. You gotta be alert, because the ball might come to you again at the same time. It's gotta be random. Now Scott can just play with that a little bit. He can look on this guy, kind of make like a fake kind of thing as if he's going to throw. Look at this guy and throw it to the other guy. So the students are responsible for being prepared. We need to run at the spot. Again, the same drill we did. But it's also possible, if you have two people here, one is going to work the inner line, and Scott is going to be working the outer line. That means that they have to try harder as far as throwing far away and catching the ball in a close range. I mean, another guy is going to be working on the same line parallel to Scott. So let's do it now with the kicks, guys. 1 foot, 3-1 hop in on 1 foot for kicking conditioning. Really important to remember, when you're absorbing that ball, you want to exhale. You want to blow air out. You don't want to get that ball and holding your breath. It might cause a problem for you, especially when you're fighting. Okay, the next drill is one man in a circle. He goes around. They might call his name to confuse him. At the same time, they keep on throwing to those other students that are standing in the circle. Now, in order to make it a little bit more difficult mentally, they're going to call out names and might pass it to an entire whole different person. The guy in the middle should be alert the most because he's 360 degrees exposed to that ball. Yet at the same time, all the students need to be aware of their surroundings. It's pretty much the same body condition we worked with so far. Plus, you got the environmental awareness of where the ball is going. Environmental awareness is crucial for combat. A noise that you might hear in a specific point can be in a total different source. You would think you heard it in one place, but actually it came from the other place. Important is, be alert, be conditioned, and pay attention. Everything will happen.
Similar exercise. Everyone turn their back towards the middle and passing it side by side. This is going to work that side area, which is a big problem spot in a lot of fighting situations. Somebody will attack what's called the floating rib down at the bottom of your side. That's a real weak area in the body. This is how you can strengthen it. Passing it side by side, the tighter the circle, the easier the exercise. The more everyone spreads out, the further you got to reach with that medicine ball. Switch directions whenever somebody yells to switch. Switch! And if somebody drops the medicine ball, everyone drops down, 10 push-ups. This also emphasizes teamwork. And to make it more difficult, you can use 2, sometimes 3 medicine balls, depending on the amount of people.
Nope.
Next, I'm going to take a minute to show you some basic boxing strikes. Boxing can be very useful in street fighting just because it has very basic hand striking techniques. It can be very effective. The first thing you need to learn is the correct foundation, the correct stance. It's very important for balance and movement. So the first thing you want to do is you keep your feet pointed in a parallel position, and then you put weight down on your legs, almost like you're bouncing, almost like a baseball player might when he's up at bat. Little bouncing in your legs so you're quick and you can move. Then you're going to pull your hands up like so. You're going to keep your right hand on your cheek. It's called the touch-touch system. You know your right hand's in the right situation if it's touching your cheek right here. If you don't feel that, you know you're doing something wrong. You're leaving yourself open. So you keep it right here on the side of your cheek. Left hand comes right above your left eye like so. Make sure you're not blocking your line of sight. Some people like to keep it higher. Some people like to keep it low to protect their midsection. I like to put it right in the middle. It's really important to keep your elbows in because when it comes from a defensive point of view, you need to keep those elbows in to block your midsection. So you're right here in your basic stance, hands up, elbows in, a little bit of bounce in the legs so you can move around quick. Your feet are always in a parallel situation like this. You're not crossing your feet so you're off balance. And you're not getting too square, giving your opponent a much bigger target. You're staying on your side. Another important thing to keep in mind is you want to keep your chin down like this. You'll hear boxers a lot of the time say chin down, eyes up. That means you're keeping your chin down so it's protected behind this left shoulder, and your right hand can keep your whole face protected, and you're keeping your eyes up because when you're looking up through your eyes, you know your chin's down, and you also know that that's going to keep you from blinking too much. Looking up at your eyes, the way that your eyes work is you're a lot less likely to blink. Looking up through your eyes at your opponent as if you're looking straight ahead. So this is the basic stance right here. From here we'll go over some basic punches. The first basic punch is the jab. I'm sure you're familiar with it. The jab is for speed, it's not for strength. It's for keeping your opponent at a reasonable distance away. And all you're going to do is twist and extend that front hand out in a straight line and pull it straight back. Out and in. A couple of common mistakes are you don't want to pull the hand back and advertise that you're about to strike. And you don't want to lift that elbow and leave yourself open to the midsection for a kick or some sort of a punch to the left ribs. So you keep that elbow in and you twist that jab out, like so. What's very useful about the jab is it's very easily thrown on the move, so you can move around, keeping your opponent at bay, keeping that jab in his face. And then, which brings me to the next punch, which is the right hand, often follows up the jab. That right hand leaves from the cheek and comes right back to the cheek, so you're maintaining that correct defensive posture. Right hand, twist your body, go straight out, rotate the fist. This is for power, whereas the jab was just for speed. This punch is for power, and you're pulling it straight back. That power is going to come from the legs and the hips, not just from the arm. So you're not just throwing here, you're twisting your whole body into it, so you're punching through your opponent, not punching at him. And you're pulling it straight back. Set up by the jab. You can also throw these punches to the midsection by dropping your body. Notice how when I throw these punches lower, I'm dropping my body and not my hands. A lot of the time you'll see fighters make the common mistake of just punching low here and leaving their face wide open. You might punch your opponent in the stomach, but he's going to punch you in the face, and you're going to lose. So you want to drop your body down, maintain that correct defense, so you're here, and throw the punches to the body. That's where all those squats with the medicine ball comes in right here. Those are straight techniques. Next you have the circular punches, which are first the left hook. All you're going to do, pick up that left elbow and pivot with that front foot. So you're just right there, real basic punch. Don't want to use all arm and just swing it, because then you're going to slap instead of punch. You want to just pick up that elbow and twist that foot. You don't want to pull it back, leaving yourself open and letting your opponent know you're about to punch because he'll block it. So you're just here. This is best served for in-close fighting. If you're in close, you want to throw the hooks. Once again, you can set it up with the 1-2. Drop the whole body, throw to the body. And you can get that right hook in there also. Similar punch, just from the opposite direction. Uppercuts, gonna come up underneath your opponent. These are good punches because they're hard to see. What you want to do is you want to drop your body down and lift with your legs so you're coming up with that punch and you get your whole body's power. You don't, once again, just want to drop your arm because then you're going to be left open for a strike. So, drop the body, come up with the uppercut. All together. Okay, since I just showed you the basic punches, now I'm going to demonstrate and Yuri's going to help me by holding focusness. A couple of things to notice is because we're using boxing for street fighting, I'm going to limit the amount of movement I'm doing because if you move too much on the street, you're very susceptible to leg kicks, knees, grabbing. So for a street situation, you want to have what's called more of a solid base. I'd like to take this opportunity now just to emphasize the difference between boxing used in sport and boxing used in combat as a self-defense weapon. A few of the main differences would be what I just touched upon before. You want to limit the amount of movement. You don't want to dance too much, like say Muhammad Ali or some of the boxers you'll watch on TV. You want to limit your movement. You want to limit both the leg movement and bouncing around. You also want to limit the head movement to open yourself up, so you're not opening yourself up to knees. And you're not leaving your legs wide open to be swept or taken down or leg kicked. A couple of other things to keep in mind. As far as the striking goes, the jab can be very useful in the street. All you have to do is open up that hand, and instead of striking with a closed fist, you leave all your fingers open and you just convert it very quickly into an eye poke. And then you can just jab the eyes, just keep that jab in their face, and as soon as you connect with one of those eyes and you see them blink, that's when you follow up with the right hand, left hook. Some other useful weapons, instead of using the hooks for in-close fighting, like here, the hooks can be easily converted into elbows, often seen in Thai boxing. The elbow comes up just as if you're hooking, but instead of striking with the fist, you just strike with the elbow and you turn it over. Same pivot, and the power is coming from the same body pivot. I personally like to take the other hand and go over it to maximize the protection of my face. So I'm here. Switch, and I'm here. You can do up elbows. Notice how the power is still coming from my legs. Up elbows, side elbows, even come down on elbows. And you can put them together with the striking, the eye jab, the right hand, left elbow, right elbow, down elbow, bring that face up, follow it up with the right hand, left hook, down elbow, knees. Most of the other tools will carry over very effectively onto the street. The same basic concepts. You always want to have your hands up, always want to keep that chin down. So if you do get caught with a punch, your chin's down, you're not going to pop your head up. You're going to keep your chin down nice and tight. So even if you do get hit, it's hopefully on the forehead. not the nose or jaw. Chin down, hands up, elbow in. Same basic principles, just limit the movement. Since we just showed you some boxing striking, it's necessary now to show you how to defend against the other person striking you. First, your best defense is to have that good, solid base stance foundation. That's the best defense because your hands are already naturally in the position to block anything coming at you. The person throws a jab at you, you have a couple of options. You can just catch it with your hands, which is going to stop you from getting hit, very effective. However, if you want to create openings for counterpunching, it's even more effective to give that hand a little bump. In boxing, it's called a parry. So if the person jabs, parry it to the side, parry it to the other side. Any straight punch your opponent throws, you can parry, whether it's a right hand or a jab. Parry it off to the side. Straight punches, stop, parry. As far as the opponent throwing hooks, you're going to keep that same basic stance, and if they're throwing a left hook, all you're going to do is take your left hand, slide it up, almost grab your own ear, your own head, or you can grab the own side of your head, leave as much little difference, as little space as possible in between your forearm and bicep, so that hand can't sneak in between, and you're going to meet it right here. Meet it dead on the side. If they throw the other hook, same idea. If you have a big, strong guy and he's swinging for the fences, you can take away that blow, which can still hurt, even if you just take it where you want to take it. You can take that away by absorbing it and moving with it. That hook's coming from here, you move with it. And moving with it can also bring in effective counterpunching, because you absorb it, use that power to come back and counterpunch. So you have block, block, parry, parry, block the hook, block the hook. You can also block that strong right hand if you're afraid that parrying isn't enough. If you have a larger opponent, very strong, you can do the same thing. Bring it up in front of you like this. Absorb the power. Send it back at him. Block here, counter. Block here, here. If he goes to the body, that's why you want to keep your elbows in at all time. Keep those elbows here. I still like to personally keep my hands up because I'd rather be caught in the stomach than the face. Just drop my elbows. Some people will drop that front hand like this and use the shoulder to protect their shoulder. Here. So now, with the help of Yuri, I'll go over some defenses. Start off just with the jab, and I'm going to stop the jab or parry the jab. Now I'm going to begin parrying. Notice how it creates an opening for me to come back in. Whereas before, just stopping just does that, just stops the punch. Now he's going to throw that right hand. I'm going to do the same thing, or I'm going to block it, bringing my whole arm up. That's a parry. Or I can stop it. For training purposes, these punches are being aimed right at my forehead. That's stopping. It's parrying. Parry to the counter. Now I can put that jab and that right hand together. Throw whatever you prefers. If I keep my hands up in the correct position, there's not much movement for me to have to make. Even if I don't see it in time, I'm still going to catch it right in the hands. Keeping that chin down so he doesn't catch me in the chin or the nose. Now he's going to throw some hooks. I'm going to raise my whole elbow up. Point that elbow right in his face. In fact, if I want to be cheap, I'm going to walk in as he throws it. I'm going to catch him with my elbow right to his face. Turn that block right into a strike. You can throw that right hook at me too. Same thing. Yuri's a big guy, so I'm going to roll with it a little bit so I don't take all the power. roll, come back, my own technique. Now you can put them all together. Jab, right hand, hook, whatever you want. A little bit of head movement's okay. Make a miss. Straight punches, quick. My hands are tight. Even if I don't block them in time, they're still just going to beat my forearms. Ready to counter. Okay, thank you. Some other defensive techniques, other than blocking, would be some movement as far as ducking power punches, and also moving inside to take away the distance so they don't have the room to strike. And you can go for a clinch or a wrap up or a takedown. First of all, to duck a power punch, same as if you're throwing body punches, it's the same principles. You want to keep from your waist up, straight up, and maintain eye contact with your opponent, and you want to do all the bending from your waist down, your legs. So if your opponent throws that left hook and you want to go underneath it, same idea as throwing that jab or right hand to the body. You just want to make a circular movement, a duck down and towards him that way, or the other direction. But notice how my eyes and upper body is staying straight up, so I can still do all the techniques I need. Blocking from down low. Blocking, I can strike from down low. I'm not taking away my options. You can duck without any foot movement. Here, quick little duck. More of a bob and weave. Or to cut an angle, or to create distance, or to take away distance, you can add in a step underneath. Move back with it, move to the side with it. Now Yuri will come over and we'll demonstrate some of that. First he'll throw that jab, and I'm going to either slip outside or inside. Preferably, I'd like to slip outside because that takes away his right hand also, because he can't cross his punches. If I slip inside, I'm still getting out of the way of that one strike, but I'm right there, right down the pipe for his right hand. So he throws that jab, just a tiny little movement. It doesn't have to be exaggerated so you're off balance, it just has to be a tiny little movement to your right side. You can go inside, but it's dangerous. If you go inside, make sure your hands are right in front of your face. Same technique for the right hand. Preferably you want to be on the outside so he can't throw that left hand at you. Can go inside. And as for ducking underneath those hooks, we will begin by throwing that left hook at me. Simple bob, no foot movement. I'm just moving right underneath. Maintaining visual the whole time. I don't want to see this, because then you're open for the knee, you're open for the uppercut, you're open for the grab, the person can come down on you. So if you duck it here, and he goes for those things, you have your blocks, you have your hands, you can counter, etc. So throw a few hooks. Duck in. That right hand is up, so even if you don't get all the way down, you're not eating it on the face, you're still blocking it. Now I can move my feet a little bit and cut an angle and be right here. Whether I want to take his back, or I just want to use this good opportunity for an open strike, or I want to take his foot down, whatever I want to do. These little foot movements will make a lot of openings for you to counter. Little foot movement. Now you can mix in that right hook too. For the right hook, it's the exact same thing. No movement. Now with a little pivot thrown in. Now you can mix it up, throw the left hook or the right hook, and I have to react. Keep your hands there just in case you don't duck it in time. Thank you. The last defensive technique I'd like to go over is simply closing the distance to not allow him to get any strikes off at all, forcing him into more of a grappling wrestling situation. It's up to you whether you want to use this technique. I wouldn't want to use it against an opponent bigger than me, but if an opponent smaller than me, I might want to take striking out of the situation and go for the takedown of the wrestling. So the first thing we're going to do is Yuri's going to help me demonstrate. If he throws, these techniques are best thrown off circular punches. Why? Because if he's throwing straight ones and twos, you can't walk right into it, or else that's bad news. So the best time to close the distance is if he's getting wide with his punches. And all you want to do there is you have a few options. You can come in with the elbow, like I said before, or you can not come in with the elbow, close the distance, and go for a grab. Whenever you grab, you want to make sure that you're controlling the person's arms, not the other way around. So when you're here, you want to go in for the hooks. You want to get their arms here, not the other way around. From here, you want to keep your hip in close so that he can't go for the knee strikes. You can try to knee me straight on. I'm too close for him to go for those knees. You keep that hip in tight. That's what Thai boxers do. You can also, if you don't want to grab the arms, you can also do what they do in Thai boxing. You throw that hook. You come in for the clinch and control the head. Elbows in, grab the top of the head so you have the leverage. Pull it down and hip in to take away from his knees. At the same time, you should be beating him to it, throwing those knees at him. And then from there, you can go down for the takedown. You can try to reposition him so you get his back. You have all sorts of options. You'll change it from a striking fight into a grappling or a wrestling match. Now, Yuri and I are going to do some slow, controlled sparring, just so you can see how everything I talked about ties in together when you put it all together. Please watch and analyze and try to see if one of us get hit, what did we do wrong? What did we drop that hand like we were saying you have to keep up the whole time? Don't just mock if someone gets hit. We're going slow and we're going controlled, so we don't have all the protective equipment on. If you're going to do this, make sure you have mouthpiece, headgear. Pay attention to the ounces of the gloves. Make sure they're a sufficient size so no one gets hurt. Also, you might want to put on a cup. Time. Great.